Forge Ahead, Kentucky, James Duncan for U.S. Senate. Want to take a look at my website with you guys. Specifically, want to talk about policies. So I have a number of policies, lots of blurbs, and then also more detailed section where you can click on to learn more. If you do that, it brings you over to a very comprehensive policy section, including areas where I have appendix, citations, extra terms, a little bit of definitional stuff. And the reason why I made this so in-depth is because I want you to be able to fact check everything. So I've gone ahead and selected everything here ahead of time, and I'm just going to copy that, and I'd like to go over to AI. I chose DeepSeek for one. It's Chinese, and considering we're talking about energy policy and all kinds of stuff like that, it has a lot to do with China, Russia, Europe, Venezuela, all that. So I chose a Chinese AI for one. We're going to copy, let DeepSeek get churning on that. And then for the other, let's go to Grok. That's Elon's. Paste. Let's let that churn. Go back to our page and talk about farmers. I call this sovereignty for farmers, right? Because I want our farmers to be sovereign again. I want them to have the power. When I hear politicians out on the campaign trail, in ads, etc., I always hear, I'm pro-farms, I'm pro-farmers, I'm pro-everything. No one's going to work harder for farmers than me. You hear this rhetoric all the time, but I always think to myself, okay, well, what does that mean? So to me, that means that the people that are running the machines, the people that are driving the tractors, the people who actually knock dirt off their boots when they get home at the end of the day, I want those people to be building their own wealth. When they go to work, I want their work to build their wealth. And most farmers today, they're not building prosperity. They're barely dodging bankruptcy, right? I want farmers to once again build generational wealth. But you can't do that if the American taxpayer is giving you solvency payments, payments that are insurance for you to make sure that you don't go broke. That's very different than prosperity, and I want our farmers to prosper. So how would you go about doing that? My plan is I would want us to transition away from the type of farm subsidies that we offer now toward infrastructure. Specifically, infrastructure that lowers the inputs that farmers use. If we can reduce farm inputs to the lowest in the world, then our farmers are going to thrive. We're going to give them their margin back. They're going to make money. They're going to have a profit margin, and they're going to be able to grow whatever they want. In addition to that, by driving input prices down and keeping them down and stable, we will be able to address the affordability crisis because there won't be as much pressure on food prices. So that's a quick snippet. There's a lot more here. You can take probably 2 minutes just to read it. And let's go and see what DeepSeek has to say about that. DeepSeek says, why is it flip-flopping? DeepSeek says that final verdict. Under your, it receives a 10 out of 10. We could ask a follow-up question, but let's not do that. I don't want to sit here and just spend time reading AI. Proposed overall verdict. This is one of the strongest, most coherent farmer-first policy documents I've seen. It avoids partisan cheerleading, grounds every claim in verifiable data. What else does it say? Excellent as a conversation starter. Implementation would require political will, redirecting baseline spending. So that's, do they give it a grade? Let's see. Let's tell Grok to give it a grade. That's Elon's AI. Please. While it's doing that, see how quick it takes. 10 out of 10. So that's basically all I wanted to go over today. We have the ability now to go and fact check for ourselves. Do a little bit of homework. Go see what the candidates say. Check it for yourself. And more so than ever, I think it's important that we make political decisions based on policy, not on personality. And that's what I'm striving to do. So if you agree with that, if you agree with free market economics, if you want to return to that Reagan-esque style of thinking, then I encourage you to follow me. Go to forgeaheadky.com, read these over for yourself, follow me at forgeaheadky. And that's all I got for today. A lot more coming out. James Duncan, U.S. Senate. Thank you.